Hey everybody, it's Catherine Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and welcome. This is day 5 of the Go for the Gold New Client Sign Up 5-Day Challenge. And today is the day that we could go, oh, it's kind of fear and trembling day, because this is action day. And don't worry, I'm going to take you through a very simple process. But I don't know if you remember all the way back on day 1. Hey Sue, we've got Sue, Maria, Crystal, and Annette. Hi. Way back on day 1, even in the action guide, we said, look, this is 5 days. We're going to be together, and to be in this challenge, I want you to commit to being all in. Not to me, but to the challenge that you're setting before yourself. Do we remember that? That we said, yeah, we're going to be all in. And it's been a lot of process, right? It's been, hey, we've got to think about some things in a little different way. We've got to address some of our cherished fears, right? Some of our I call them our little pet fears that we nurture and love on a little bit. But also, the goal has been to actually help you connect into your own greater, higher self, connect into your integrity and tap into those deep resources and to kind of activate some of your creativity. But then we took it from, hey, let's get out of this creative headspace to trying stuff and where we're kind of circulating, and then we get busy and we come back and get busy and come back, but we never really make the progress we know that we can make. So we talked about being the creative and how to creatively, one, think about making, what is the offer, and what do we want our business to look like, and what would that journey look like? Really get you into that higher level thinking and just let you think about that in a way that there's no restrictions, and then start breaking it down more into the realistic steps. And this is about as real as it gets. And guess who is shouting in your ear right now? Your inner critic. There's a part of you that's already saying, I'm going to do some exercises. I'm going to spend the weekend, and then maybe I'll call Monday or Tuesday, right? I mean, I'm a Monday or Tuesday. Maybe next Thursday will be better by then, right? But today's challenge is to really take a simple action, and it's with people who already know you, okay? So before I go over what the handout is and, kind of find out where you are, I want to just do a little check-in with everybody. And since I see Sue, this light, have you seen me like doing this? I'm not having a stroke. The light is shining in my eye. But let me say good morning to Sue. See how you're doing today. Hi, honey. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I was having technical difficulties. I used the wrong plug on my headphones, so I couldn't hear you to start.
Okay, that's all right.
So I'm having a little bit of one of those days this morning.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. My plan for today is to contact somebody that I haven't spoken to for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to actually just sit and consolidate everything we've done this week.
Okay.
Because I found that I'm a bit discombobulated with it all. I need to bring it down into something a plan that I can use.
Okay. So the mind loves deadlines. We work towards deadlines. Otherwise, if it's open-ended and we don't have a clear idea of when we're ready and when we start. Right now, and you know this from doing session work, right? If you ask a question like this, you go, well, what are the next steps in your business? And the person goes, oh, I don't know, I need time to think about it. So, I want you to take all the time you need to think about it. how much time do you need to think? And then they go, I don't know. Well, right now, let's just take all the time you need. I'll wait. And then I'm with you. Let's just wait. No, you don't understand. I usually like to have a cup of tea, and then I go to the restroom, and I have my big inspiration in the bathroom, and I come back and I write it up. I can't really do that with you here, Catherine. But if we say take all the time that you need, and then as you're ready now, we then, what would seem to be the next logical step for you to take?
The next logical step for me is to start with my Facebook ads and to contact this person. Those are my two next things.
Okay.
These are things I've been hesitating about for a while. So those are my absolutely two next steps.
All right. Guys, I want to talk to Sue just another minute here. Do you have your core offer identified yet? Because I know you're building this thing and you want to start getting a bunch of opt-ins, but do you know where you want to take your people? Like,
yes, absolutely.
Coaching. What is it you've got for them once they've gotten your free opt-in? What is the thing you're selling?
The thing I'm selling is a self-assessment workbook for now.
Okay.
And what it does is it helps you to figure out exactly where you're at right now and where you want to get to in different areas of your life. Of course, for each person, that's different. So it's about a personalized, when you finish the exercise, you'll understand for yourself where it is that you want to go and where your areas are that are a little bit missing, or
okay,
where you're sort of over where you're putting too much time and energy into something and you're ignoring something else. Mm-hmm. So by doing this will help you understand that, but it also helps you then understand, well, where do you want to be?
What if they have trouble filling out the workbook? Then what can they do?
Then what they can do is they can set up a session with me.
Great.
And we'll go over it together.
Okay. Is that a paid session or is that
No, that would be a paid session, I think.
Okay. On your page, like it would be like, you might have a Q&A place. And that way, hey, that's common questions. But then there's always like, but if this is something that you feel like you need more personalized help with, then let's set up a 10-minute or whatever if you want to do it that way. But I would not go over the entire book with them or anything else.
No. The session would be to go over the results. They would need to do the workbook first.
What if they can't do the workbook? I have a form that's 7 questions that freaked everyone out, and they weren't able to.
Because there's an instructional video that goes with it.
Okay. All right.
So it takes them through it so they can watch that and so it takes them through it step by step.
Okay. So okay. So not making you defend it, because I'm actually information in a short time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So there's an instructional video that goes with the workbook.
Yeah. So there's one person you want to talk to, right? But then you're jumping over to your Facebook ads. What I want to encourage you to do is to actually show it to more than one person. Go, hey, this is what I've got. This is where I am so far. I'd love to get your advice or feedback. Who do you know might be a good promotional partner for this? Right? Who do you know? So I want to encourage you to think more in those. And I'm going to walk you through a script today, but expand that because you've got to get a broader base of people kind of already tapped into you. And then that's, before you start spending money on Facebook ads, okay? Get some warm feedback first, okay? And that's all you're doing. This is part of your thinking and assessment part. And then you can go into the critique going, okay, I've gotten this feedback and I think that works here or there. And even with me asking questions, like I want to make sure that there's the people who took the time to download it, it doesn't, they open it up and they go, oh yeah, I'll do this in 15 minutes, right? Or I'll do this Monday, I'll think about it. And then they never complete it, or they get bogged down, the emotions come up or whatever. So, oh, excuse me, I didn't even know my phone was still on. But so walk through that person's journey as if they were as resistant as you've been. Okay. Okay. Tricky and slick. I know how to seem like I'm doing stuff. So I know. Okay. I just keep going. You're doing the stuff right. Okay. You're a hard worker and a big heart, and you're going to make a difference. So it's going to be fine. Okay. Maria, I know you don't have your microphone, so do me a favor and do me a little check-in with kind of where you are, and like if you did figure out what you want to talk to people about, or just I want to just kind of get some feedback and get a sense of where you are in your process. Adrift, great. Okay, Maria, I definitely think you and I need to set up a time. I'm going to message you right after the call. Is that all right? Okay. Annette is starting over. Fine. Okay, I'm going to message John. And Annette and I already have something set up for later this week. But I want to check in with beautiful Crystal. Hey, how are you doing, Miss Crystal?
Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you. So it's been a couple of bumpy days for you, but you have been really dedicated and staying on it. And for that, I commend you. Where are you today?
Well, because I was thinking about what you were going to ask me. Thank you, Sue, for being our first guinea pig this morning, because then I had a clue as to what might come up for me.
That's real question here.
Huh? Say that again, Catherine, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Catherine might ask real questions. I better be ready.
Exactly. I test really well, so if I know what the questions are going to be, I can, come up with an answer. And that's why I was cracking up with Sue, because I could see myself in Sue going, well, I'm going to do this and this, and I'm going to wait until tomorrow, or I'm going to wait for a little bit. And I was like, oh shit, she's not going to go for that.
That was the agreement, right? Isn't that what we said we were going to do today? I would be a horrible person if I let y'all, slip away from promise and commitment to your what kind of Okay.
Exactly. So as you were asking Sue the questions of what was she going to do, and I don't have a clear offer yet. I'm closer to a clear offer. I still do need to do a little bit of research, but I do know who I can contact for a couple of meet and greets per se. One's a really good friend of mine that is a hypnotherapist, and he and I have been talking, and we've been actually playing, instead of telephone tag, lunch tag. Our schedules keep not, aligning, but I'm going to make a point for them to align, so that way he and I can talk, because he has a very huge following, and in our one conversation we had a few months ago, he messaged me later and figured out how I was able to help him, just in conversation, not, hey, here, let me sell you a session. It was just a conversation. And so I was thinking about him. And then I have a couple of friends that are also sex coaches, which is where I get a lot of referrals as it is now. But I'm going to, talk to them and tell them where I'm taking my business, as opposed to just the healer part of it, because it's more of the healing coaching. And, because as I told you the other day, it's Cutting cords is one of my biggest fortes, and so that's where my sex coaches refer me, is to cut cords for people.
Yeah. And the thing is, no one wakes up thinking about cutting cords, but they do have a feeling that they can't get someone out of their head, right? They
Right.
don't know why they keep circulating on the thinking, and why they keep, even, why they just are obsessing on it, right? It's like every time they want to do something, their point of reference keeps going back to that one person, and
Right.
they can't move forward. That's moving out of addiction, if you think about it. So
Right.
you got to get more in their that person's languaging. And one of the ways that with the one command, because we had this thing, and what we did, if there were people who were leaders like that, we said, well, we'd love to work with you, but really before anyone could help us or understand how to refer or what we're even up to, we want to take people through a one command experience, right? And so we made sure that everyone had a good kind of sense of what that was like. So it was really fun taking people like Jack Canfield and David Ricklin of selfgrowth.com, and Joe Dispenza and Joe Vitale, and all these different people, James Malinchek, and just different people we got to meet. Everybody got to go through, and every one of them went, that's good. It's like, oh, can we quote you? Like, what is it about that, right? So anybody that we reached out to, we made sure that they got to have a sample session with us, and then got the feedback on what they noticed in their own experience, because sex coaches and healers and therapists, they have their own stuff they keep working on, right?
Right.
Okay. So you might actually maybe perhaps in another. Okay. So you might think about, hey, what would be an information evening or a little conference that you could get together and just say, hey guys, I just wanted to do a little presentation and get your thoughts and feedback on this, right? Or just where you explain it, and then who do you know, right, that could benefit from this work, or is already working with this group that would be a good partner for me, right? And what I'm looking for, and what I would suggest that you start with, is maybe a one-day experience, right? We call it a workshop, just a one day. Let's get out of the house, and you need to have those live bodies around you first to get that real feedback, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You didn't get any more than 4 or 5 people who paid you $100 for the day.
Right.
You'd have a greater level of commitment. And then that would force you to create the program, and based on that feedback, you'd know where to take them and what the next thing is. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But then just from that, you could have it structured into like 3 or 4 parts, and just kind of walk them through, and where you're kind of healing them, body, mind, spirit, leading them to clear action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So guys, I'm so sorry. I got to tell her this one other thing I woke up with that I've got to tell Crystal about, and this may be helpful to y'all. When I was thinking about Crystal and the men, and thinking about the direct outreach to men, as I said before, men are not necessarily actively looking for a solution, because they're more in that feminine model. They go into the cave. You got to think about how men are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then they kind of go on a journey, and then they kind of hope to find the wise one along the road that they have a powerful conversation with, right? The guy at the bar, I was talking to someone at the grocery store, even though everybody has told them the same thing, right? It's always some random stranger. But the other person that they listen to in their life is the women in their life. Their mother, their sister, their wife, their dear friend. And the women who care about this man are the ones who are actively seeking a solution. Okay?
Right.
So don't just limit yourself to say, I've got to go get in front of men. The women are actually more likely to do that. So before we give this example, I just want to give it really quickly.
Okay.
when I had my hypnotherapy practice and I got my first office at the Day Spa, the first thing I did was, I did the big visualization. Like I went and would sit in the office like Sue, like I'm going to think about this. I don't have anyone, I'm doing some stuff, but I really, right now, just want to imagine having those clients come in. And I imagined from phone call to walking in at reception to coming at my desk to intake to doing a session to the follow-up. I mean, I got that detailed in my visualization. Then through that, I went, well, how can I get more people? There's only so much I can do. And then I realized, hey, I'm in a day spa, and there's 3 massage therapists, there's 2 hairstylists and the nail lady, and everybody talks to them, and the receptionist, and then the owner. These are all women, and I need to get all these women talking about me because they're already curious about me. So let me direct the conversation. So I approached each one privately, and I just, talked to them, and I wanted to find out what they were doing. And then I invited them to a private session, and then just said, now you can have an experience. What would you tell people about this? And then I would find out what they would say, and then I would kind of redirect. Here's how they would say it, right? Yeah, this is more of how I like to say it. And then I coached them a little bit on how to talk about me, right? And then they all got 3 or 4 of my business cards. And then this particular group, money really talked to them. So I said, I'm giving 10% referral. So thank you so much. They go, oh, I'll do the same for you. Right. Well, I sure will. We're all in this together, right? So that was the first thing. Well, guess what started happening? And so as they started chatting, every person I ran into in the lobby, I'd say, oh, hi, I'm Catherine. They go, you're the hypnotherapist, right? And I go, yeah. And they said, does hypnotherapy work for weight loss? Now, I, at the time, was not as large as I am now, honestly, but I was still a large lady wearing size 18 clothes, and I prefer to be in a 12, 14, right? And I was embarrassed. I was like, oh, are they asking me if you're a hypnotherapist, does hypnotherapy work for weight loss? And if so, why are you fat? Which is what I heard in my head.
Right.
But no, they cared about them. And then I realized, hey, this is the thing they're asking about. And it was not for them. It was for their sister, their aunt, their mother, their daughter, their husband. And I realized women are they're the nurturers and the ones who take the action, right?
Right.
So what I did, because I wasn't certified in it, I'd never really focused on weight loss. I focused more on habit control and emotional clearing and setting goals, that stuff. But I went in and said, hey, how do I teach hypnotherapy? How do I teach hypnotherapy for weight loss? I found a program. I designed the flyer and pre-sold a class for a 4-hour class. And I listed the prices, hypnosis for weight loss. And I pre-sold the class for $75. But if you register by this date, you can bring a friend for free. Right?
Right.
I sold out the class because everybody bought it for their person that they could come in with them. And then at that class actually paid for my training. This is how I do stuff, guys. Paid for the training. And it also gave me the collateral material to kind of frame it. I wish to God I still had that brochure. It was probably the best brochure I've ever written in my life. But it was, take the class and you can bring a friend for free. It was 4 hours. And then in the middle of the class, I made my offer for the upsell, which was at the time only 6 sessions. And I think I sold it for like $250 or something, which seemed like a lot of money to me because I sold 10 packages. And so that was like, oh my God, that was used to have my weekly pay, right? So I was like,
Right.
how many more ways can I do this? So the strategy I'm telling you about is, don't think about maybe selling to men directly. Think about, hey, what is the thing that person would buy? 75 may be too high or too low. But think about marketing to the people that love them, because
Right.
their sweethearts are the ones actively searching. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Oh yeah.
Could be even like I'm a member of Crohn's of Anarchy, but empowered women, or there's an older woman thing because, grandmothers and mothers are worried about their husbands. Wives are worried about their husbands at their, midlife or whatever. They're worried about their grown children that can't seem to launch, right? They're pudding and they don't know how to help them. So be moving around. Let yourself kind of be moving around mentally as you fix on, okay, I'm doing my hand puppets. So as you fix on the target, allow yourself to be flexible in your thinking about everyone who's in that person's world and who's already invested in their success. Okay. All right. Does that help?
Because they don't have that. They don't usually have enough people rooting for them, or at least they don't feel like it.
Well, they don't, but there are people, and there's people. There's people in their world, but
Right.
That isolationist who just wants to sit alone and not get any help. That is not your person anyway.
Right.
The who's talking to their mom or their sister, their wife, the one who's talking to their friend about it, the one who's talking to their coach, like their trainer, right?
Right.
Who's actually starting to talk about it, that's your person.
Right.
Seeking a solution.
Right.
Okay, so don't focus on the isolationist, focus on the chatterbox. Okay? You got the wrong person.
Yeah, I know I know the person. That's the me, the one that's like, oh, I know somebody you need to talk to person. That's who I need to focus on.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Oh, Maria's making great notes here. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank you.
Is that helpful though to think about?
Yes.
Thinking on
Yes.
that? Okay, cool. All righty. I want to read some of these notes, and Maria's. Thank you so much. Bring your core. Catherine will find it. You're right where Crystal's at, kind of that failure to, firming up a lunch date, how the one command can help. Can we use it to get a floppy fish into the boat? Soon the trial session, say Vitaly, do you suggest doing a one command prior to that session? I don't know how Joe finds this. What we do with any session, no matter who it is that we work with, is I don't know how I deliver, I don't know how I'm in integrity with this person and I deliver a great value. I only know that we are in the business of helping other people together now, and I am fulfilled. And that doesn't presuppose that we're doing it necessarily together, but in this great scheme of things. But that's just how we think about it. And I think about that if it's a private person, I do one command before every session, just like that, because I'm setting a clear intention for the outcome. The most important thing is to meet whoever that is as an equal, right? We tend to elevate them. They go, oh, if I could only talk to them, they're just so great, and we all have those people we think are the rock stars. And I got to tell you, every one of them are people. Every one of them are weird. Every one of them got their thing that they're still struggling with. And every one of them are committed to making a difference. And so align to that commitment that's in them and that commitment with you. And then that's where you'll find the match. Okay? Not where they are in the journey ahead of you or how many followers they have or anything else. Align your inner commitment to their inner commitment. Isn't that a powerful way to think about that? Let's do that right now. Think about the people that you want to connect to, and then I'm going to tap into Annette. But right now, just align to your heart and the commitment that you've made in your life to helping other people, and how you committed to your own growth and education so that you can serve them, how you're committing your way to the fulfillment of that vision that we don't know where it came from. And even the commitment to your success so that you can be a model to them, but also maybe have the way to reach more people.
because of your success. So now, as you tune into and align to your own commitment, right now, I want to align from my commitment to your commitment, and notice how that expands that. And in this space, let there only be love. And I like to use light as a way to kind of get a visualization of that. But then I think about the people who are committed on their own journey, their own healing journey, and they're looking for those people along the way. Isn't it great that you aren't the destination, that you are just the helper to get them to their destination? And now let that love and that commitment in your heart start to shine towards those people and becoming the light at their feet. And now align to their commitment, to their growth and their healing, to their education. And in fact, bring them a little closer. Some of them, it feels like they're way far away and kind of down, down, down. Bring them up closer to you so you can get a really good, clear look at them. Now, right now, there is someone who is looking at you the same way. It could be a healer, a teacher, a business leader. It could be an author, a speaker, business owner. We don't know. But there is someone holding that greater space for you because of their commitment, just like someone held that space for them. So right now, feel yourself coming up so that you're closer to them, just like you brought that person further away, so that now all of this starts coming into alignment from them to you, to the people that you want to help, from you to the person that is holding the space to you and the people they want to help. And if you look at this just as light or as energy, what's the difference? Where is there separation? Where is there rejection? No, there's only love between you. And right now there's a greater light that guides us all, that whatever it is in this great force or consciousness that somehow wrote that on our heart, imprinted it in our soul, and put that drive in our belly that we are miserable unless we are doing this work. That greater thing that made us this way, feel that greater alignment start downloading all the skills, all the attributes, all the experience, everything you need to remember, and just allow whatever you need to forget. Let that happen too. Now bring your attention back to your own heart and your commitment. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Ooh. I have to take a drink of water on that one. Where's my water? Goodness. Okay. And now we're just going to let all that knowing and the confidence that comes from that start to arise and organize. Ooh, let's stretch. Let's move out. We might have to stand up for that one. I'm going to stand up for that one. That was big. Oh, I'm going to stand up. Ooh. Don't punch the ceiling fan like I almost did. Yeah, let's kind of get that moving down. Get out of your body. Yeah, we want associate movement with this revelation, right? We want movement to come from our commitment. And remember, motion makes emotion, okay? Whew, so if we feel this powerful emotion, let's move and associate action with it, okay? All right, now I'm going to check in with Annette. Woo! Can you hear me, Annette? Let's see, I'm going to check and see if she's unmuted. She's on her phone. She might not be in a place she can talk. Oh, she says, I can hear you. Thank you. So, but can't get unmuted. Okay. So, Annette, you and I are going to be checking in a little bit later. I'm going to check in with you after the call. I want to just make sure where you are and everything. Okay. So I'll message you and we'll set up a time. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and share the page from today. And is this helpful, like what we did this morning, this coaching? Was this beneficial so far? So you feel more prepared to think about this stuff? Okay. All right, so here we are. Now I'm going to be answering more through the chat. Okay, yes. Yes, good, good. So today in the handout, it's what we've been preparing for. And now it's time to start your personal outreach to connect with referral partners and clients. So you've already been thinking about it. Yesterday was a little more detailed, but now that you've been thinking about it, now I want you to just kind of make some notes to just kind of get you thinking and ready for your call, and then really have a clear idea of your core offer. And like even with Crystal, where you go, you know what I'm wanting to put together is a one-day training, or what I want to put together is a 4-hour training, and I'm needing some help getting that filled, right? You don't have to have the whole thing, but you might say, this is who it's for, this is what I'd want to do, and this is the outcome. Like right now, like the next thing I start actively promoting, because I've been talking about it and I kind of send it out my list, but I hadn't really committed to it, is I keep having this vision of having this 2-day retreat in a beautiful home, where if people want to stay there, they can, or if they, they're in town or they want to get their own hotel room, whatever works best. But while they're there, I'll have really good food. That way they don't have to go out. We'll have a nice dinner out one night. But we're going to be just doing some visioning and getting clarity on where we want to go. For that, I really want it to be women who are already successful, but now they feel they're ready to go to the next level in their business, and they've got to have this space for some visioning and resource building and kind of deconstruct some things, kind of like what we do, right? But I also want them to have some time for dreaming and talking and getting nourished. Doesn't that sound great? And so I've got to come up with a great name for it. I already know, I want no more than 8 people there, and it's, like I said, it's going to be in Dallas, and I just know that people can come in on a Friday night and they'll leave Sunday afternoon with a really clear working plan, right? They'll know what their next steps are. They'll have a working plan, but also they'll be refreshed and restored, and they'd have the chance to have some make some relationships with some women that are kind of their equals. Doesn't that sound funny? Elevate the vision. I love that. Thank you. But doesn't that sound fun? So I'm actually going to be calling around and talking to some women business owners that I know through my mastermind and say, look, this is what I put together. I'll have a little write-up. Who do you know that would be a good fit? And frankly, the women I'll be inviting will probably actually be a great fit, but they may have a friend, or they may have some people in a mastermind or whatever. So I'm going to be just doing it like, hey, you're my friend. I've got this idea. Who do you know would be a good fit? And the price point on that, because I'm going to be providing the lodging and the food and the work that we're going to be doing for the weekend, is going to be about $1,500, and which is more than fair, right? For considering a weekend is going to cost you that anyway if you just wanted to get away for the weekend. This is a transformational retreat where you get to get filled up and think about your own wants, wishes, and desires in a loving, fun environment. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. So, hey, if y'all know of anybody, send them, let's talk about it. I'd love to get some suggestions and feedback on that. Okay. Or if you know someone who has a great retreat center. But I'm wanting to initially do it in Texas, but I actually have somebody who wants to do it in Florida with me, one of my clients. Okay. So, so get an idea of what your core offer is, just even if it's just an outline. Okay. Be clear on who that person is, and I've got a little framework on how you would explain who that is. Okay, like with Crystal, we kind of reframed that. She said, oh, they're very often very isolated. Well, those are not, people don't really feel motivated or say, yeah, why don't you go find this guy, he's in a cave, I can't get him to come out. Well, that's not your person. We want someone, remember the criteria, who has a problem, they know they have a problem, they're actively seeking a solution, and they are committed to investing in that solution, right? They're committed to that. Well, they may be that kind of person, but they don't know where to start, and that's why I'm suggesting with Crystal, hey, maybe you want to talk to wives, sweethearts, other coaches or counselors, right? They're gonna, if you're holding that intention for that kind of person, they're mentally gonna match that with you. So make sure that that ability to pay is rolled in, guys, to who your criteria is. And then with your ideal client, we're gonna talk about this too, like what is the big result you get for them? And that way it kind of matches what people are looking for. So right now, I hope, and what you should do as soon as we get off of here, is to make a list of people you know. And like Sue has one. Sue, I would encourage you to think of who are the other 4 that you know like that. Like if you put all your energy on that one call, you're likely to put it off. But if you go, I'm going to do this one, boil my frog, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then just go ahead and make 4 other connections. All right. And they don't have to be phone calls. They could be Facebook or check in through Twitter or whatever. Okay. But make a list of who you already know. And then since it's challenge day, really make a list of those people and their contact information and what the results were. You can do this on a notepad. You can make a Google spreadsheet or whatever. Remember, low tech, high touch. That's what we're doing. Okay. Breathe in. 5 people. 10 people. Crystal knows everybody in Denton and most of Dallas. Crystal's so hooked up. So, know a lot of wonderful people. So then you're going to outline your conversation map. And remember I showed you my friend Anthony's conversation map? Well, I will post the book that actually, I've seen this model, but there's a book that I read that actually hammers this out, breaks it down in beautiful detail. I'll post the link in the page in the, I have a book section in the files. I'll list it there, and it's like, they lay it all out. You could read the whole book in a couple of hours, but I don't want you reading books today. I don't want you studying. I want you thinking and taking action. Okay. So Coach Catherine is like, Catherine, this is what we're doing today. Okay. So outline your conversation map, and it'll look kind of like this. You're going to message directly through Facebook or Twitter. LinkedIn is a little soft, frankly, but Facebook and Twitter messages seem to land a little faster and closer. So if you're already on Facebook and you have your connection through there, make it through Facebook. If you're a Twitter person or an Instagram person, do that. But I'm more of a Facebook person. I haven't really worked with as many LinkedIn. Like every once in a while, I'll dedicate some time to it, and then I always get pulled back to Facebook. So that's just I like Facebook. All right. So you're going to message or directly call your contact. Start with a warm lead, someone you're friendly with already, and you are not selling them. You are connecting and seeking referrals or suggestions. And do this as soon as possible, then follow up. So the basic message is like this. Hey, Joe, are you busy? Can you do me a big favor? When you have about 15 minutes in front of your computer, can we, can you do me a favor? When you have about 15 minutes in front of your computer, I have a quick question for you. And if they go, oh yeah, or now, yeah, like, yeah. So I want to add, can we talk? Okay, that seems incomplete. So when you have 15 minutes in front of your computer, can we talk? I have a quick question for you. That's it. And you could also call family members or whatever. And you're going to turn this into your own script. And I will download this as a Word so you can edit it if that would help you. Okay? So we have that. So yes, appointment, thanks, talk to you soon. Then the 15-minute talk is this. The idea is just, you're just going to tell them how excited you are in your business right now and who you're looking to work with. So how did, like when I said, here's the thing that I'm working on. I've got this vision for this weekend, and this is what it looks like, and this is who's there. Who do you know, right? So what did I clearly identify? Who I was looking for, what the heck we're going to be doing, but then what would the clear result be as the result? And I named what their problem is. They know they're ready to go to that next level, but they know they've got to really take some time to think about it, and this is the time, right? Because they're so busy, they don't really have that much time to really just devote to thinking and really focusing on themselves. Women have a bigger problem with that than men do, right? So when I pitched that, didn't it just sound like it came right off the top of my head? And yeah, this is what I want. And then I kind of painted a picture of what the weekend would be like, and then who I'm going to be talking to. Who do you know like that? Okay. So that's how it works. So let me share the Google Doc, and then that way you can do that. I'm going to post it over in the chat. Okay, there you go. And hey, this is the bonus. If you're watching the replay, this is the bonus of showing up on the live calls, isn't it, guys? We just go, hey, you want this? Let's get it. So that's what we do. So then you're going to tell them that you're so excited to work with, right now, Crystal, I'm just picking on you right now. You're so excited to work with men, with men who in other areas of their life, they're generally pretty successful, but they're on the other side of a toxic relationship, right? And I've figured out my best clients are, and then we'd share that, and here's how I help them, right? And then I'm calling you because I'm wondering, who do you know that I can help? I'm wondering, who do you know? But not just men are less complicated. I would say rather than less complicated, men are fast action takers. And when you show them the path, they go for it. So you're already embedding what you're going to be doing with them, but you're also, this is a little hypnotic language. You're showing your person you're talking to, as soon as I show them the path, they go for it. What you've commanded to that person that you're talking to in their unconscious mind is, I show you the path and you're going to go for it. Okay? Very positive, forward moving language. Not, they're less complicated. They're just simple creatures. Just give them to me and I'll fix them. No one wants that person. Do we know it's true? No, sorry guys, we're teasing. I love working for men because when they get to be with me, I'm the one person they get to be vulnerable with, and there's no judgment, and we can have some humor, and they trust me to absolutely tell them the truth from a softer, like friendly perspective. I am like that aunt that they had, that female best friend in college, their big sister, but I'm also a little elevated from that. So I've got this kind of little way that they have freedom to be vulnerable with me. But then because of that kind of bend and being the coach, I can be more direct, and I can actually speak a little tougher to men, and I like that. Okay, so that's why I like working with men. All right, and they're more committed, frankly, than women a lot of times to get the solution. Women tend to like to sit in that a little bit. Okay, so could you think of anyone, any person, group, or company? Do you know of anybody who's in this space? Like, remember when I told the story about sitting down, went to the networking meeting, and I said, I'm really interested in getting involved with the Boeing Psychic Fair. Does anybody here know anyone in that organization? And then it was the president, the vice president, and their promotional person happened to all be sitting across from me. So get really clear on, hey, I'd love to get involved in a group like this. Do you know anyone like that? So we might think about, if you're in the hypnotherapy world and there's a bunch of hypnotherapists in a particular group that are networking, right? It's like, I love that kind of group. Do you know anyone who's like the organizer or they're active in that group that could show me how to maybe get in front of them, right? So just kind of be in that who do you know mode, and then give them some suggestions on what it is that you're actively looking for. Not too many. It helps to have one, maybe two, and that's all. Okay? So what do you know? You keeping your intention on where you want to take people, which is to your core offer, right? So get as many, and then once they do give you that referral, then you're going to get as many details as it's possible from that person about your referral. Like, tell me about them. What are they struggling about? What do you know about them, right? How have you worked with them? What's your relationship like with them? Just whatever you can. And then if it's possible, you get that referral, ask if they can put a word in with you for the person, like say, hey, I talked to this person and they're going to be contacting you. Okay? So we know how to do that. We know how to make those connections. So you're just not used to asking for them. You're used to being the one that's asked for that. Okay? So then if you do get the referral, they said, well, Joe suggested I contact you because right now I'm working with blank, identifying your market, what their challenge is, and then here's how I'm helping them so they can get this big result, right? And I had that actually written out at one point, and I may have accidentally deleted it. Okay, so I'll give you a clearer, but hey, who do you know? Right now I'm working with, and who has whatever their challenge is, and I'm helping them. Let me break out this line a little bit. It's a little easier to read. Right now I'm working with someone, and so who are you working with? Men, women? I'm working with healers. I'm working with people who are finding that they're like Sue. It's still a little vague on where someone is in their life that they would be going, I really need to get a clear assessment here. So that is the one thing, just as I started going through this, suddenly that popped up for you. Like, I need to really get a clear idea of who that person is. So when you're talking to someone, that person you're talking to, will go ahead and nail it. So if you go, do you know of someone who's kind of stuck that might need help? And they go, everybody, right? But then you go, who do you know that, they're actively, maybe they're going through a change of life and they're noticing that they're not really able to make the shift that they want to as quickly as possible. They could be stuck in their career, or they're noticing, like, wherever your genius is, if it's in relationships, but they're just noticing they're doing all this stuff and nothing's really working for them. And so maybe they haven't known how to ask the right question. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But then there's still nothing clear there. So who do you know, like a sister, maybe someone at church, one of your coworkers that might be going through that? Then they go, oh, you mean in my world, the people I know? Didn't you just ask them that? But then the minute you start naming those, then they start having an idea. But you might say, hey, who do you know that is already working with people that, do you know any therapists? Or not therapists, I don't think that would necessarily be good, but maybe you're working, do you know any like massage therapists? Massage therapists are great because they always tell the people, look, you need to relax and meditate and you need to let go of stress. And the people go, yes, thank you very much for your helpful advice. And then they don't know what to do, right? So who's already working with them, right? So you really need to nail down a little bit more about where they are in the change, why they're there, and what change they want to get to. And it might help to know what area of their life it's affecting, okay? So for you, you've got this really great process, but it's still a little nebulous on how someone would know who to refer to you, or even how someone could self-identify, okay? So this is just kind of coming in, and I hope that's helpful. So what their challenge is, so I'm working with, successful women. This is what I said. Probably business owners or coaches, and they know they're ready to go to this next level in their business, but they're not quite sure what they would look like. So they need to have some time for visioning, and then they need some time to just think about it and come up with a working plan. And also they need some time to just retreat and get filled up. And here's what I wanted to create, right? Okay. So we did this, and here's their challenge. They don't really have the time because regular life is so busy and there's so many demands on their work. They don't ever really have that time to just dedicate to thinking about themselves and their own goals. They don't really have that place to get filled up and nourished so that they can just let go of their daily responsibilities and do this. So who do you know that is really, you feel like they're gearing up, or that they're ready to make that change? Maybe they just need time to rest. Do you have someone in your networking group? Is there someone in your referral network, right? Someone in your referral network or a mastermind, someone you've worked with before? See, and I'm making it more concrete. Who do you know? Okay. So this is who I do. And so then I'm giving that little explanation. And then Joe thought you might know someone and point me in the right direction, or give me feedback, or whatever the ask is of that person. Okay. And remember, I said too, it's like, hey, what we're asking for is a referral, but also we would love to get some feedback. And I've actually been looking for the old audio that I have of this, because I have a concept called infinity marketing, where we get the idea. If you think about the infinity symbol, what I'm taking you through is, hey, we've had the idea, the inspiration, then we refine it. And where everybody usually tries to go is once they have something that they want to market or sell, they go, oh, like I'm going to get Facebook ads, or I'm going to buy advertising. But where they actually need to go first is into their own warm market and get feedback, get support, just like I did with those ladies in the hypnotherapy center, right? I went to the people who I already knew, and I said, this is what I'm doing. Who do you know? And then that way, if anyone asks, here's how to tell them about me, right? And then people that everyone they knew started contacting me. So then that moved me up into this other world of referrals. And then I'm starting to actually get more clarity and feedback. And what happened was, based on what I had told my people and based on who they were serving and where I was, right? It's a day spa, so they think about beauty and wellness and just self-improvement in general, but more towards appearance, right? Even more than that, than health. They want to look good. So what was their question? Weight loss. Even though they may need healing from trauma and they need to know how to self-love and they know how to let go of their toxic relationship, what they know they want to do is, if they could first take care of themselves to a degree that they got control over their own weight and they started feeling good, then they'd have the resources to start dealing with this other stuff. So that's when I, was able to refine my offer. And that's why this is so important, okay? That's after getting the feedback from my warm market. Then I got to have conversations with their referrals. That's when the feedback started coming back, and then I could refine my offer. And then I pivoted my whole practice to weight loss and smoking cessation, because those were the two things that everybody asked me about. And then as we worked on that for 6 weeks, then I could identify some other issues and then take them to that next level. Is this making sense? This is why we start with our warm market. This is why we ask for the referrals. This is why we want to have live human interaction, so that we can get in real time feedback, and then there could be some information that maybe we didn't miss. There's a connection, but also there's just this level of clarity that comes that locks in everything. The reason you can't come up with your perfect offer now is because you're in a vacuum. The reason you don't know exactly who your person is now is because you're alone and you're having these imaginary conversations with yourself about who you might work with or you didn't. And then when you think about your past people, you're not necessarily even, what happens is, from a psychological standpoint, is you go, yeah, I had that really great success with that person, but then you remember that they just kind of went away and you don't know why they disconnected from you. And then all of a sudden you kind of end on this drop or everything was great, it was fantastic, but then you kind of get started back on this other negative row, right? But if you're in this forward moving, progressive, positive expectancy, then you start recounting those successes, and success after success, you start getting in rapport, and then you start hearing what they are, and that starts triggering your wisdom, your greatness, right? Your super genius starts showing up, and you become the most fascinating person in the world to them, and they're thrilled to find out what a beautiful heart of service you have, right? That's actually what we're moving to, okay? So then if they go, actually I think that would be good for me. You go, oh, well, you want to have a conversation about it? Do you have time now, or you want to talk later? Then you can schedule another appointment, okay? So I've got a little basic outline here, and then after you've talked to whoever, after if they said yes or no, or we're going to the next thing, make sure you send a quick email or message afterward thanking everyone you contacted today. Send any appointment link promised in your call, okay? We really want to just bring this down, guys, to taking simple action. If you only got one today, you would already be miles ahead of where you were yesterday, okay? And once you've got, this will bust you through. But what we really want to do is move you to where it starts getting normalized a little bit. And you go, oh, then the next call is just the next call. It's not the call that you need to get to. Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do is to maybe make a list of 5. I'd love to see 10, but if you only got 5 today, go for it, okay? So Annette, I know right now doesn't have classes or anything else. A big move for Annette, just speaking to you directly, would be actually what I'm doing is I'm looking for, people who are ready to, maybe they haven't been, in their work for a while. And what I'm looking for are those people who are really wanting to move forward in their career. They need to maybe get a creative solution or something, because she's a theta healer, but maybe they've got some negative beliefs around that. Remember when I was a theta healer, Annette, my first thing that I put out to a list was, I'm looking for 21 practice subjects. Well, you could actually talk to people and say, look, what I'm doing is I'm looking for 5 case studies, and I'm looking for people that I could work with. And then it doesn't have to be free. You could actually say, I'm doing 5 case studies at, and basically you could even set up your package to be like $197, or even if it were $97 or $150, it doesn't matter. Put a dollar amount on a package and say, this is what I'm putting together, because I know that the first one is really, we've got to do a little triage, we've got to clear the block. The second time we get more to the meat of the matter. And by the time we're at the third one, they need some resources to take that next action step, right? So I have a clear reason why it needs to be 3 appointments. But I want to just encourage you to think about, hey, who do you know that would be a good case study person for me, right? Bring it down to that, because what's going to happen is it's going to trigger your own healing, and you're going to figure out that you actually know more than you think about, how you help people. Right now, you're kind of you've kind of forgotten a little bit. Does that make sense? So what are we talking about, guys? How many people are you going to call? I'm going to put it in the chat. How many people are you going to commit to calling or connecting with today? So give me that number, and I'm going to wait. Okay, and that says that helped. Crystal saying 0. You stinker. Okay. All right, Crystal, I love you, and I'm going to put your feet to the fire today. I want you to think of one person that you could call and say, hey, can you get, you can message on Facebook and say, hey, I've got this thing I'm thinking about doing. Do you have about 15 minutes? Could you do that today?
Two. Okay, Sue, you've got 2. That's big, because for Harvest Good. Your offer isn't clear. Doesn't matter. I want you to make something up. I want you to say, I've got this idea about working with people, working with men in this, and initially just say, right now what it looks like is this, right? Just go, it's not clear. Or initially what it looks like is a 2-hour evening. What it looks like is a 3-hour workshop, whatever that is. Just, you have an idea of what it is. So it doesn't have to be crystal clear. Have a little outline and allow yourself to go, hey, this is what I want to help. This is what I'm thinking about. And give yourself 30 minutes. That's why we did this first one. It's like to where you really just got it written down. Okay. And again, Crystal, just like what I'm telling Annette, you can say, you know what, I'm creating a program, and what I'm looking for are 5 men to work with me in this case study. Who do you know that their relationships or their business or their health is getting affected because of toxic relationships. Right? Who do you know? So Maria says, I have one. Okay, you have one. What? Do you have a program, or I can make 2 or 3 calls. I don't have to be clear because they know the benefit of working with me. Is that cheating? No, that's not cheating. And that is like, who do you know? And I'd like to have a conversation with you about this, right? And just get some feedback. Maria's got the person she's meeting today. Yay. And then I'm going to move you forward because sounds like you're leaving the house to go do that. But also, to be thinking about, hey, if that sparks some ideas, I would encourage you to think about who you could call next, who you could contact next, okay? So that's what I want you to be. All right. I'm going to be available. I'm going to have my phone and my messenger on. And so if you get stuck or you need feedback or you need me to talk you off the cliff or to swat you on the bottom, give you a hug, send you back out. But no, if you just need some feedback or support or need to bounce something off, I'm available by messenger. And that's not just for the 5 people here if you're listening. And I know that some people are not listening to this until maybe that night or the day after. But what I want to move you to is getting out of thinking and to committing a day that you're taking action. And you're going, today's the day I'm going to make X amount of calls, and this is what I'm going to say. All right? How does that work? Phone and messenger. I'm on Facebook Messenger all the time. So I have that downloaded on my phone, and I just live on Messenger. So that's just kind of like I'll get an alert. Okay, so if you type into Facebook Messenger, I'll get an alert on that. Okay? All right. You can message me through the group. So on the group, like it says in members, and then there's a place where it says message. Right, so you'll see my profile, but it's right there. Let me show you. I'll go to the page. And I'm going to go to members. And right here I am. And then there's a place, it doesn't say it for me because you can't do it, but like, let me do somebody else's profile so it shows a little better. Here's the Sarah's profile. Here's, I'm a friend, and I can messenger, right? So, and then view profile, but right there you could just click message and that'll send it, okay? So I'm in Messenger. There we go. All right, but yeah, it's even on my profile. You can send me a message. All right, good. And then, what is my at there? But yeah, that's my page. All right, so there we go. Thumbs up. All right, my love. We are just a little past the hour. Can you believe everything that we covered in this hour? We got to do a check-in. We got some spot coaching. I gave you kind of a couple of frames to think about. We did an incredible aligning through commitment. And here's the next piece on that. Think about this. I like to think about there's this greater intelligence. I almost felt like of this energy of commitment that somehow, as I align to commitment, commitment aligns to me. So there's already this built-in support through commitment. And we've got a little working script. You're going to just have to do a little mental rehearsal. Because I'm kinesthetic, this is one more last tip. It helps me to kind of literally stand up and walk through. Like we've got a long hallway here that goes all the way to the kitchen. And if my end outcome is someone buying a session, well, I put up a piece of paper at the end of the hall on the cabinet that says first paid session. And then at the end of the hall, I go, here I am. And then I walk myself through the steps and I kind of do a mental rehearsal. And I keep walking back and forth in that mental rehearsal. And if there's any place that I get stuck, I stop and do a command. So then I start marking each moment, right? Just like I said, when I would go in and visualize my practice, it was like, oh, I got a phone call. I directed them to the receptionist to book the appointment for me. They came in, she handed them the intake form. Then they came in and I got to sit with them, spend 15 minutes. Then we went into the session, right? And I explained how it works and what to expect and all that. And then I take them right in to doing the thing. And then I have bringing them out. Here's the follow-up. And then the next step after that, like I visualized just like that. Now, that's what I've been teaching you to do. And any place you get stuck, what do? A one command, right? So I just keep walking myself. So if you find you're kind of circulating in your head, you get stuck, get moving your body. And that is probably going to be the best thing that you can do. That's rich. Align to me. Yeah, that's rich. Align to me. Love, I align to love and love aligns to me. My prosperous clients, my amazing clients that I love to work with, I am aligning to them and they are aligning to me. And they're going to find you. What we put out in spirit, what we put out in consciousness always returns. And that's why I'm really encouraging you to have a powerful intention going out before you. And then we're just adding in some of those practical steps so that we can invite people into our world. Okay? All right, my darling. So, ladies, we are predestined to be here with Catherine together. Yes. All right, I think this is enough. Let's stop talking and let's get crack-a-lacking. All right, everybody. I'll be checking my phone all day, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.